Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today we're taking a look at 2 Reaper Kickstarter previews. All right, thanks for clicking in. Before we get into anything though, quick disclaimer, Reaper sent these to me just to do preview videos on. There's no sponsorship or anything like that. They just sent them on over, so there's your disclaimer. Okay, so right here, this is Base Boss 2. So for most of the minis that I paint, and I mean probably like 90% of them, I use Base Boss bases. They're thick, they're black. I just generally prefer them to kind of the wafers of WizKid minis. But the real kicker with these is, yeah, they've got some expanded sizes, but they've got these inserts. So these little, like this particular one they sent me, I think these are kind of like for water or lava. And they're these little inserts. They've got a whole variety, including like sci-fi, this kind, all sorts of stuff. Check out, I'll have a link in the description for the Kickstarter. So the Base Boss 2 Kickstarter ends Monday afternoon. So very, very soon. So if you want to go get your pledges in and get it at the discounted rate now, act quickly. Otherwise, eventually, of course, I'm sure all this will be available at reapermini.com. So like I already said, I use those Base Boss bases for almost everything. But one thing that's really interesting with this structure, with this insert type of thing, is that I don't think that this would be best used with Reaper Minis. Reaper Minis, virtually all of them have like a good, like a skateboard, like a chunk of terrain attached to the bottom. So it's not just like feet, it's feet in grass, feet in mud, feet in rocks, feet in castle floor, kind of stuff like that. Which if you're just sticking that mini right on a base and that's it, that's cool, that works. If you're using the mini and the base and then you use some sort of like mud or sand or something to give it some textures to blend it in, that works there too. I'm not sure how those existing Reaper like built into the mini bases would work with a base like this. I guess you could cut the base off of the mini itself and just use the feet. I don't know about that one, but I would absolutely be super hyped to use these with other minis. And then our other pack that we're going to take a look at is a special preview pack for Bones 6. So I've done some videos on unboxing and reviewing the Bones Kickstarters. So these are the massive, huge sets of minis that you can get. So when you do them through the Kickstarter, you pledge and then you get shipped out in these waves and you just get these of course, depending on what you order, these huge boxes with hundreds and hundreds of minis at just bananas low prices. I think Reaper minis are generally very well priced, but the Kickstarter prices are just so good. You're like pennies to the dollar kind of situation. I strongly recommend checking out the Bones Kickstarters. This next Kickstarter, Bone 6, is called Tales from the Green Griffin. And also in the description or in the comments, we'll have a link to the sign up for the notification of when Bone 6 goes live on Kickstarter. One special note with this particular assortment of Bone 6 that they sent over, all the minis in here, it's like an adventuring party plus a goblin. The goblin's going to be cool. I'm excited to take a look at it. But the adventuring party, their bases, so the built into the sculpt, so like that's actually all one piece with the mini, that like base with the ground, these all interlink so you can put them together. I'm excited to open this up and take a look at what that actually looks like. Okay, so before we start unboxing all these, I just want to give everybody a reminder, if you check us out at patreon.com/FryMinis or just go to FryMinis.com, we've got a link over there. Each month we run a painting contest called the Spud Club Painting Challenge. We have all sorts of prizes, like gift cards and things like that, and then you get special recognition on the website. So if you're interested and if you're a painter, just come check us out. And of course, we're always happy to talk. Leave a comment below or join us over at discord.gg/FryMinis. Okay, so first we're going to unbox the Base Boss 2 preview set. So this is just temporary packaging. This is just for the preview. That doesn't matter, but looks pretty cool. Okay, so this is what we've got. Nice base. This is a little bit different than the other ones that I'm used to. The ones I typically use are completely flat. They have this little texture, and this texture isn't a texture that you're going to use for like creative stuff. I really honestly I think this texture is just to help paint and muds and putties stick to it. All right, so now that we've got that groove, that lip, we just take that same piece and it fits right in. Got a little bit of a lip on it so we can paint it or whatever, and of course we would need to glue it. And just so you can see, if we do it the other way around, it's too big, too shallow. Although I think you could get away with it if you fill it out a little bit, but this is what we want to do. Okay, this preview kit is part of the core set box of Bone 6, made entirely in Bones Black and all sculpted by Bobby Jackson. Okay, so this appears to be some sort of a halfling fighter. I really like the detail. This is very firm. Look at that, like no wiggle. Really, really solid product. We even have bangs on there, look at that. Little backpack. This is great. I love this one. This is a woman. Like an adventurer, maybe a rogue, I'm not sure. If you've seen any of my videos where I talk about Reaper, you know that I don't love this situation. As for the mini itself, just technically, you know, these are very sharp lines, well recessed. I think this is like a mechanically a good mini. We've got this little bit, but that's easy to clean up. Okay, maybe an elf wizard. Really fun spiky effect there. Again, all of these are rock solid. This is very, very firm. Good detail. Nothing that's going to be too hard to access to paint. And I guess like a dwarf cleric, or it could be a fighter or paladin, anybody really. These armor plates I think are better than the other woman, but still unnecessary. I'm really, really impressed with how crisp everything is. And our goblin, so this is an enemy basically for those adventurers to face. Love these scales. Those will be great to paint. This feels like a good classic mini. This whole set really feels like an iconic line. So I think these are pretty cool overall. So the bases, I really like those bases. I'm really excited to use those bases. And I would absolutely cut the built-in base off of a lot of other minis. So we have their feet. I can just go straight on there. I think the built-in base on a lot of minis makes sense. If you're just putting it just flat on a base, okay. But these are kind of maybe the next level up. And if you're just cutting these off, just take like an X-Acto knife and just be careful and just cut just below the foot. Or if you want to go a little bit fancier, you can cut from the foot down and slice around, and then you've got this like little elevated platform. So if you're going to use mud or anything that you want to use that could like bury the foot a little bit, that's a safe bet. And I'm very excited for Bone 6. I know this particular packet had a couple female minis that weren't my favorite style. But overall, the minis and the value that you get from the Bones Kickstarters is just, it's, even if I throw away all the minis that I don't like, it's still worth it. All the monsters are great. The dragons in particular are always just so fantastic. I can't wait to see the full rollout for Bone 6. I'm really, really excited for that. I am a guaranteed pledge for Bone 6. I think the interlocking built-in bases for this adventuring party was really cool. I think that's a really fun concept. I don't know when that would come up for minis that you're playing with at the table, and I'm not sure how that would interact with these bases. But if you're doing like a diorama piece or an art piece, I think that's really, really cool. I'm happy to see it. Or, and maybe, hear me out, maybe we've just invented a whole new stat block. You know how we have swarms of rats, swarms of bats. Maybe You put all those together on like a large base and call it a swarm of adventurers. All right, so thank you to Reaper for sending these over. This was great, wonderful surprise, super appreciated. Thank you very much. So if anybody's interested in all this, just head on over to reaperminis.com. And again, we'll have a link in the description or comments or somewhere. And if you want to win potentially a prize for entering a painting contest, FryMinis.com/SCPC. Come check it out. We've got a bunch of fun themes and really cool stuff. Also, let me know in the comments, am I going to see you at ReaperCon? I plan to be there. We've got the hotel room booked. If you're going to be there, let me know and leave a comment and we'll talk. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks again to Reaper. We'll see you in the next one.